Our next part that we're going to model uh, for this week is the Automoblocks passenger base. So we're going to start by creating a sketch. In this case, I'm going to sketch this on the top view instead. So we're going to come in with the rectangle tool. And we'll go ahead and create the outside dimensions 1.975. Or sorry, that was 1.975 in the horizontal dimension, which is for the two vertical lines, and in the vertical dimension for the two horizontal lines, that is 1.590. So we do have fillet in these corners. Now that fillet is 0.2, so we'll go ahead and place that. Now notice I've gone ahead and canceled that and entered that particular radius. I want to show you here um, some other things that can occur. And the difference sometimes when you want to have all of these on the same versus different. So now notice at this point that is a 200 thousandths radius. This is a 400 thousandths radius. So if I edit this right now to 0.2, it changes all of those that were created at the same time to that same radius. So this is a way that you can kind of maintain some dimensional control over all the same features if you know that they're supposed to be the same. So for example, if I knew if I needed to come in here and I needed to make all of these 300 thousandths, I could change that, but I now have to also go in and change this one as well. So it's generally better off if you make sure that they are all uh, being done at the same time if you know that they're all going to be related. So, and it just will save you some headaches down the road. So there is the dimensions there. Now, we have a circle of 580 thousandths of an inch diameter. So we're going to come up here again, take a look. So in this case, we can create what we refer to as a circle diameter tool. So I'll go ahead and use that. We'll just place it here, type in 0.580. We got to add some dimensional constraints here. So from the center to this line, we're at 490 thousandths. So, and from the center to this line, this dimension is 340 thousandths. So we'll place that. Now, I'm going to do the square next. And as we sit here, we talk a lot of different types of choices that we can use for the rectangle tool. I'm going to use the center rectangle tool just to kind of show you the difference here. So in this case, from the center out, I get an X and a Y dimension. So let's go ahead and take care of this. But we know that it's 0.580 by 0.580 because it's square. So, but even with that, without that going in there, so let's take a look. If I made this 0.25, all right, let's talk about a constraint that could correct and fix this. So right now I'm 250 here and 580 right there. So we do have these equal constraints. So let's watch what happens if I select this line and then that line. It fails to solve because we've got dimensional constraints already in there. So let's take that out. So and now let's add that dimensional constraint and say I want this line to be equal to that. Notice how that kind of moves it and makes those equal. The fact that we're over the line here doesn't really matter. So we can kind of move these into different areas, or if we wanted to, let's undo for a second, just so you can kind of see this. We know that dimensionally, so from here to here is 200 thousandths. So I'm placing that 200 thousandths dimension first. And then I can say, all right, now I'm going to make this equal to that. So, and it pushes that and makes that where it needs to be. So at the 580 by 580. Now, at this point, so I also need to apply a dimensional constraint from here to there. and this is 0.2. Now I just noticed, according to the print, that this dimension is actually wrong. So, and I'm wondering, because this square in the circle looks to be about the same size, so I'm wondering why it's not in the position that I want. That's because this is 200 thousandths. I need to change that to 0.050. So move that over. So a couple of different things. So as we're modeling, sometimes you don't see things. So, and sometimes you have to go back and make corrections. It's not a big deal. Just pay attention and know what you can do to solve the problem. Now, I also have a triangle that's going to go down here, and I've got this star looking feature down here as well. So let's start with the easier of the two. Let's go ahead with the triangle. So I'm going to go to create, and in this case I want a polygon. Now I'm going to use the edge polygon here because I can see I've got a line. So I'm going to basically place the line right here like this, and we're going to make sure that that is at 90 degrees. So let me hit the tab button to go over, lock that in at 90, and I can even at this point say we know that that is 638 thousandths of an inch in length. So we'll go ahead and place that and hit enter. Okay, now notice the number of sides. This is giving me a hexagon, so I can go ahead and just change that to the triangle. So there is my three-sided object, and let's go ahead and hit enter to place it. So now I need to dimensionally constrain some more stuff here. So from this point to here is 50 thousandths of an inch, so 0.050. Enter that in, moves it back into place. And from this point to here is 200 thousandths of an inch. So that's positioned that where that needs to be. Okay. And now let's go ahead and I'm going to move these over to kind of keep these a little closer so I can be in here and kind of deciding how do I get a star. So is there anything here up here that gives me a star? Well, what we're really going to need to do is talk about and use the idea of a inscribed or circumscribed polygon. In this case, I'm going to use an inscribed polygon. I'm just going to click anywhere for the center point. Now notice at this point I've got a hexagon, so we're going to change that to 5 sides. And then dimensionally, so I need to kind of think about what I'm seeing here. And the first circle that would be inscribed is a 605 thousandths of an inch diameter circle. So this is giving me a radius. So if I know the diameter, I know the radius. So if I'm saying 605 is the diameter, so that means 0.3025 is the radius. So, and I can kind of use that now. Let's kind of bring this in and kind of position this where I want to get an idea here of how this should actually be. So there we go. We'll place that right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. So right click, repeat inscribed. Now in this case, again, it's going to be another 5-sided. But if you think about how this relates to each other, so and what these points actually should be. So in this case, I've got a smaller diameter, which is 0.412, 412 thousandths. So in this case, I'm going to make this 412 or 0.206 diameter. And then we're going to kind of come in and do the opposite here. So if I had this point here, so we're going to make this opposite. We're going to place that right there. Now, doing some additional geometry here. So maybe it might have been a little bit better off if we had kind of done some construction geometry here before and kind of drew our midpoint, because we want to make sure that our points all line up. So here I can move this over. Notice at this point, so we got to have that relationship between these two. All right. Now from there, I can say, all right, well, let's go back and create our lines to get this. That means from here to here. So now I'm kind of coming back and creating this point. And then we'll have to go back in and trim stuff out. So just using some construction geometry here. All right, so that takes care of that. Let's trim what we don't need. I don't need these anymore on the outside. So, and I don't need these on the inside anymore. So, and there is my star pattern as well. Almost done with this. So we'll go ahead and finish the sketch. So I'm going to extrude this part back, and we want to extrude this. We'll go ahead and extrude it up by 0.3. So, and then on the bottom side, this is going to be a shell as well. So we're going to rotate this around, and we're going to shell the bottom of this, and that's going to be a 0.01 10,000ths thick shell. So, and this is what this part will indeed look like. A pretty typical molded plastic piece. So let's go ahead and assign this with some material here. So let's go ahead with physical material. We are going to make this plastic, and it is going to be ABS plastic. So we'll go ahead and say ABS plastic if we can have the white. So let's see if we got some ABS white plastic, nylon. Oh, here we go. ABS plastic here. Let's just go ahead and apply that. There's our ABS plastic. Last thing we need to do is save this. So this is going to be saved as a passenger base. Hyphen your first initial followed by your last name. Make sure that it is in the AutomoBlocks folder and save it. And now we have completed this drawing as well.